we're gonna run you through trigger point, pin and stretch, right? First one's gonna be hamstrings, kind of the back side, okay? So below the butt cheek, above the knee, find the middle of the belly, okay? Find a tender or a trigger point area, and all we do is pin it down. I'm gonna sit down on something, okay? Number one rule, numbness, tingling, or pain, stop it, back it off, all right? You back it off first, still doesn't go away, we don't do the drill at all, okay? We're not trying to elicit pain here at all, or any of that stuff. All we're trying to do is just find a trigger point and gently, comfortably release, okay? So I'm gonna sit down, okay? I'm gonna place this on the belly of the hamstring, right in the middle, okay? I use my other foot and my hands to help modify how much pressure I'm coming down with. I don't want too much. A good rule of thumb is 4 to 10, no more than that, okay? So once I'm pinned down, I'm on there, gently pinned down. I'm gonna use knee extension and flexion to help guide, okay? That's an option. Another variation is I'm pinning it down. I'll use the femur in terms of internal and external rotation, so just rotating it side to side, still pressing down gently, 4 to 10, okay? Next up would be the feet, or the arches of the feet, okay? Find a hot spot anywhere in the heel, the arches, underneath the pads, the tissues under the toes, okay? Find it there, move it around a little bit. Once you kind of feel like, okay, I found a trigger point or a hot spot, I'm gonna keep my heel down on the ground. I'm gonna press my toes over and curl them over, and then extend them up. Press, curl them over, extend them up, and then move around, find another spot. Okay. Next up, calves. So with the calves, I'm gonna find the belly of the gastroc. Okay, so just right in either side, in there. All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pin down. Okay. Once I'm there, all I'm gonna do is use the ankle as your friend here. So I'm gonna go into plantar flexion, dorsiflexion, just ankle pumps really, okay? If that's not enough, you can gently, nothing crazy here, just gently put some pressure down on the knee to help it keep stabilized, keep it in place. Again, nothing too hard, just a little bit. And continue with your ankle pumps. Okay, next up we're gonna go quads, VMO. Teardrop muscle in your quads, so if you squeeze your quad muscle, the little guy in the medial aspect of the knee, the thigh, okay, that teardrop area, VMO of the quads. All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna press down in that with the ball. Okay, for some folks this may be enough. Okay, this may be your as far as you can go. That's fine, not a problem. If you sit in the crowd that you can go a little further and this is okay, all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some knee extension and knee flexion. Some knee extension and knee flexion. If you want to go up more towards the medial aspect of the groin, the adductors, the kind of the groin area, just slide into it so the ball comes up toward the groin a little bit and continue your knee extension and flexion. Okay. Next up we have glutes, piriformis. If we find the PSIS, so the posterior suprailiac spine on either side of your back, so I got one roughly here where my thumbs are, okay? I find that, and then I find the greater trochanter, aka the big, the bony prominence outside of the hip, so the femur. So I got that guy, I got that guy. In the middle roughly is where the piriformis should lie. Okay, we're not taking an anatomy class, it's just rough estimates here, okay? So once I find that, that's gonna be my piriformis, or the kind of the deep hip external rotator muscle, okay? So once I'm there, again, no numbness, no tingling or pain. If you have that, move it around, reach right. If it's still continuing, don't do this exercise here, okay? So once I find it, I'm gonna try to keep my right or opposite butt cheek on the ground the entire time. All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open my knee in the ground and then come back to home base. Okay, next up, hip flexors. So it's really gonna be hip flexors and TFL. Okay, so if I stay more to the front, it's gonna be more hip flexors, psoas region, okay, iliopsoas. If I taper off to the side a little bit, it's gonna be the TFL, tensor fasciae lata, okay? Try to get both areas if you can. Once I find it, okay, I'm gonna use the hip and the knee to move a little bit, okay? So I'm gonna bend the hip up and extend, bend it up and extend, bend it up and extend. And you can move more toward the front if you'd like to. Okay, once you get here, just a little bit side to side may help. Okay. Next up, we have the lats or infraspinatus. We're just working on the posterior shoulder here. So if I get a little bit of the chunk of the meat of the lats, and then you can take that ball from here and then go a little bit more posterior, kind of the rotator cuff area, the posterior shoulder muscles, the infraspinatus, and so on and so forth, okay? So once I kind of pin down, I tack down, and I find a hot spot, okay, I can add a bit of motion here. I can do some just external, internal rotation of the arm, okay? I can do a little bit of overhead flexion. You can swim around a little bit. Just a bit of movement to add that stretch to the trigger point with the ball, okay? Next one, the last one, we're gonna go T-spine, so thoracic spine in the middle of your back with a peanut. All a peanut is, essentially, is 2 tennis balls with athletic tape taped together, okay? So you want the spine and the vertebra to fall in between the 2 tennis balls, okay? 2 tennis balls go on the sides of the vertebra on the spine, okay? Find a hot spot, and there's a couple of options here as well in terms of what you can do in terms of the stretch part of the trigger point, the pin and stretch, and the movement, okay? So once I find it, okay, I can gently place my fingers on my head. I'm not cranking them down, it's very gentle. I can get some crunches in, slow and controlled, for the purpose of getting some movement in my mid-spine, upper thoracic region, okay? That's an option. Another option, keep my head down, chin tucked, arms up, alternating overhead shoulder flexion. Keeping my butt and feet down. Only going as far as my shoulders allow me to go. Keeping pressure into the ball, 4 to 10.